outside now, but I suppose they have that rule for a reason, you know, and undoubtedly someone in that team's been looking after it, and they will pull the plug, I would have thought, when they reach that point.
Mark will be leaning on dailysportscar.com to keep us abreast of exactly what's going on there. They're down on that side of the Tribune. It is a terrific website, incidentally, if sports car racing is your thing. Dailysportscar.com, you will have to subscribe, but it is an amazing service that they provide, particularly at events such as this, Mark.
Yeah, they're just reporting, in fact, that the Stracker car that's leading a class appears to have loose rear bodywork. I don't know if that's going to be a problem, but Danny Watts was outpaced by Brabham 2 laps ago.
Where is the front of that vehicle, and what vehicle is it? Because it's highly modified. I think that's the one that was straight on Arsh. It is, yeah.
So they've gotten that car going. As we suspected, we did think it was possible they might be able to drive that back. Obviously, they will have a really big gap. I'm not entirely sure how far down the order they are. I know they've had quite a few problems as well.
From what we saw with the Marshalls, they're trying to ease the bodywork, weren't they? Because it's caught in his front tyres. Obviously, what they've done is just taken the whole nose off and said go back, you know, and then off he's gone. So it's still drivable. Just for one awful moment, that yellow helmet, one thought it was Stracker, but it's not. Danny's just done a 3:33, so he's just done a full second lap faster than Brabham. So that is still really pushing for the LMP2 class.
3 full laps between them as well there. It's HPD 1 and 2, and it's a bit of a lockout for now, but we daren't speak too soon in any class here. Obviously, we look at the one car that continues in the hands of Marc Gené to do some blistering times. He's just done a 3:22.3 out there, and he's quicker than the 2 cars ahead of him. It's not over by any means for Peugeot, and don't forget they're in P5 as well, position 5 I should say, with Lapierre there in the Matmut machine just behind Dindo Capello's 7 car.
And another big news we've got here is we've just seen on our screens that car 39 has rejoined. That is the Corvette of Antonio Garcia. It's been stopped out on the track for quite a while now, but we did say earlier, you know, maybe it's not retired. We could tell he was possibly working on the car, and it looks like he's got it going again. So absolutely hands up to Antonio for doing whatever he's done to that car to get it running.
And a little ripple of applause, please, for this brave effort here. The 39 car is making its way back after big, heavy front-end damage straight into the tyre wall.
Sorry, wrong one.
Yeah, and here they are, Portales bringing it in.
Yeah, of course, that car, what a checkered history that's had at Le Mans. Kai Cruz's KSM, Cruz Schuller Motorsport team. Hideki Noda rolled that car into a ball, remember, 3 years ago in qualifying. Last year, Hideki again had a massive crash in it in qualifying. And then what happens? Car catches fire here during the race, burns out very publicly down at the Ford chicane. And this year, they're really, really determined they're going to get to the finish.
Yeah, well, it'll take some modification, I think, or at least resculpting yet again here. Look at this. Audi absolutely cock-a-hoop at the moment, and just about to put another lap on one of the Astons here, the 007 car, leading the petrol class. Yes, it's a harrying performance here.
And my apologies to anyone who thinks I've totally lost my mind. It was in fact that car of Jean de Bertolis that was coming in, not Antonio Garcia. So it's early. I haven't slept.
There we are.
Sorry, guys.
It's both vaguely sound.
Having a blonde moment.
So here we are, the 9 car of Bernard out front. It's Audi's 1 and 2. Trullier in the bird seat though at the moment, because Marc Gené is on an absolutely punishing pace, and it continues here. He's constantly getting into the 322s here. Dindo Capello is running in 4th place with Lapierre in 5th, hoping that Matmut can bring some joy as well here. And look at the pace that's being maintained here by Bernard as he picks his way through the field. They have been full on. We'll be taking a break in just a short while. Just to remind you, we have a message board. It's eurosport.co.uk. Click on the message board section, then scroll down to Motorsports. If you click Le Mans, the thread is new, ! Eurosport 2010 Le Mans Live. I know a lot of you have been sending us some messages throughout the evening. Mark Cole's going to have a scroll through, and Jeremy Shaw's just come in hunting down some coffee, which is fantastic. We'll be having a word with him in just a few moments' time. And the 009 car Hancock just looked like it's rejoining here.
I think he was actually just going out of pit lane, actually, because he was just he had just pitted. I think it was a routine stop. It doesn't look to have been anything else. This will be his second stint in that car now.
Trulio's 8 car's just come in. He's on his marks here. They have to just keep the focus here and keep it sensible. Audi, well, they've had that team talk, as you saw earlier on, just to keep the focus. That was the watchword as dawn came, and they find themselves in the lead. It's a never say die attitude. They have been consistent throughout, and they've at least for now achieved their aim. They're 1 and 2, but don't count out Marc Genet, who is on an absolute charge. He's just on a 321. We'll take a break. Welcome back. You're live at Le Mans, and well, it's a game that Audi are winning at the moment. There's a lot to be told here, because with 7 hours and 19 minutes or so of this race to go, there's an awful lot to be done here. You are live on Eurosport. You've been live, except I understand for a little hiccup of about 15 minutes in the middle of the night, but for all of the bulk of this fantastic event here. Mark, you've been on the webpage to have a brief view. Yes, SDL Rob asking, does anyone yet know the official reason for the 63 car retiring? Well, as far as we know, it's not officially retired yet, and as Liz explained earlier, Corvette will do all they can with Antonio Garcia on the other end of his radio or mobile phone to get that car back in the race. The Corvettes do tend to be bulletproof. These are the GT2 cars, remember, first time they've run here at Le Mans, and they really would like to get both cars back to the finish. Now, question from Philippe P, I think we heard from you earlier, big question, he says, why do Peugeot not have the reliability of Audi? Are they just too fast? Liz?
Well, God, I mean, it is possible. I mean, there's a lot of train of thought there that says that they're always told to push within, you know, an inch of their own limitations at all times. And I know quite a few of the Peugeot drivers. I know them well, and really great guys. But they even admit, they said the rule is we have to push all the time, and they constantly are telling them what the other drivers are doing time-wise. So they're constantly put under this pressure that you've got to go faster because your teammate's just done a better time. So I know they're always, you know, under that force to go as hard as they can. But that's not to say that Audi isn't always pushing, because I know they're always pushing hard. But I think sometimes Audi always has the bigger picture in mind. They always think, you know, let's get to the finish, let's get to the end result. And we heard in a press conference that most of the Audi boys were saying, look, our job starts at 3 o'clock on Saturday. We're not that worried about qualifying. And to me, that's just the first step of saying it's the 24-hour race that matters. So that could be part of Peugeot's problem.
Well, Philip makes a good point here. He says Peugeot has a 4-year, 30,000-mile car compared to Audi, who's got a brand new car, and that's very good. By the way, he also says, could we give a shout for his friend Ben, who's not feeling at all well, but he is trying to watch Le Mans with him. So Ben, get better soon.
I hope you're better, Ben.
Just looking, we had a brief dip down to the Saline here. We were talking a little bit earlier on about the fact that their gorgeous history, I think is fair to say. Certainly in terms of sound, they've been entertaining us for 10 years. It would be an amazing story if that car comes back for victory here. I think they skipped last year, Liz, the Saline.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen them. I think even more than a year.
His entry was refused last year. He wanted to come. Yeah, there was a lot of unhappiness about that. So a little bit of egg on the Le Mans, on the ACO's face if this car does pull off the win this year.
Well, and this particular car is a very old chassis as well. I think we were looking at, that's what we were sort of having a little chuckle about, was sort of the grandfather cars in here. We've got sort of the older Corvette still running in a possible position of second place, and also the Saline, and they're all very old cars, but it's lovely to see them out here, and it's sort of bringing home the cream of GT1 for the last year that it's going to run. Terrific work by Marc Genet there. Just holding station, waiting to get by that Porsche. I'm not sure which one it was, Felmenwire, I think just approaching the back end, and did a very neat job. Marc Genet is smooth as silk, and he's just done a 321.070. That is so fast. And I've just seen something very unfortunate. I think I've just seen the Lola Aston Martin of Pierre Rag being pushed into their garage. So that is the first of the Lola Aston Martins to have a proper problem problem that requires pushing in. That's the car which, of course, Vanina Eeks is driving as well, and that's run so flawlessly throughout this race, so that's really unfortunate. I do hope they will get that back out again.
Jerome Policar in the 72 car, car that was running very, very well early on. It's last but one of the GT1 class, just gets back in and on his marks, and that very, very deep, almost nectar feeder of a fuel engagement probe, I think you could possibly call it, goes deep into the bodywork, and they start work on this car. We're on board with the number one car of Marc Genet, and look at this. That is a busy, busy track with one of the little Aston Martins just in front of him, Mark.
Yeah, this is really hotting up again now, isn't it? Here we go, around the Celine, in fact, there it is, that car that is leading GT1, and the Aston Martin doing all he can to fend off the Peugeot. It's a losing battle, of course. He knows as soon as they get onto a straight bit, that turbo boost will just take over. 1,500 Newton meters of torque from that.
And he's coming in. He's coming in. The one car comes in, and it'll be fascinating, actually. Oh dear, to see the demeanour of the crew that work on this car, and the 97 looks lucky to get here.
That's Richard Westbrook, Britain's Richard Westbrook, 2 times Porsche Super Cup champion, bringing that car back in.
And also the second place GT2 car at the moment, isn't it? Oh no, it's third place.
Third place, yeah.
Fifth.
Yeah.
He was running second not long ago, was he? So he's lost a lot of places very quickly. So perhaps there's been a problem there we didn't know about before.
Well, we thought that was where the main focus of all the racing and changing was going to be, but it seems to have turned out to be P1 as the Signature Plus car just goes along pit lane. But look at this. This is where the action is right now, and the airgun man absolutely desperate to get in and do his job. And there goes the compressors out to the back, just getting up the jacks, and work starts here, and they mean business. Marc Genet is doing some superb times out there. He's actually nudging, I think he's into the 21s, the 321s out there, and oh, the 40 car is same old place. You could almost keep a camera locked off here and just have a video nasty going on all night. The Ginetta Zytek noses straight in. I think that's the second one since dawn.
Yeah, Miguel Amaral on board that car, another of the we're not calling them gentleman drivers, the quick ones, are we? Sportsman drivers, that's the term.
Yeah, but he is very, very quick and does quite a bit of historic racing himself. I think he's got a Cobra that's run at Goodwood many times, and really a fantastic driver. We can call him a gentleman driver, but he's actually very quick, and one of the quicker amateurs, definitely.
It's a red, white and blue helmet. It's not Nigel Mansell, he's out of the race. It's not Jenson Button, he's in Canada. It's Ant Davidson. What a great weekend he's having, isn't he, Anthony? Third place at the moment in the number one car, and that could still come back to him yet.
So we're on course. If you are watching a split screen, we're looking at people's shoes. I don't even know why. If you're watching on full screen, then ignore what I just said. Yes, it is an amazing tale that's had so many chapters here, and this, the 7 car of Dindo Capello as well, also not out of the frame at all. You can't count anybody out here because so much can change. We thought, as we were just alluding to a moment ago, we thought that this was going to be a tale of main focus was going to be on GT2 with chops and changes. It's been absolutely top table stuff all through the night, and it goes on. The 007 incidentally is just in the pit, and Primat is just getting the clean-up as we speak, and the 11 car has made 1 lap. It's gone all the way round, and we're going to be finding out just how many laps they're going to have to complete before 9 o'clock. There sadly doesn't seem to be a great rush to get around that vehicle. I think they know that maybe it is too tall an order, and the shutters were the desperate shutters. We're just hoping, and it's going back into the garage.
This could be the end of the number 11 car after such a hard-fought fight.
They may, they've suddenly perhaps realised that even if they were setting 325s out there, which is impossible for them, then I think they realise that this day is a done one. It's cooked, I think, unfortunately. Back he goes into the garage, and no great sense of urgency either, and I think if it was even close that they could continue, they would be very, very busy. Aye.
No, that's the 40 car. That's Miguel Amaral bringing that car back. We've got it out of the wall. That's Barnage.
Well, yes, and
oh dear,
still not fully into it.
Well, he's put it into the wall at the Porsche curves. Do you not realise you've got a crippled car?
Well, he does now, and it's well and truly hobbled. I was just looking at the back end issue there. We couldn't see the front, but Yeah, from bad to worse, I think. Just as you were talking him up, he does himself down yet again.
He certainly should have been crawling then, and I would have said he should slow down a bit now even. He's only got 1 or 3 functioning tyres, as we can all see, and I think once you've had an incident like that, you need to make sure, number one, you get the car back to the pit so they can work on it without any more damage.
Yeah, we're just waiting for news on the 11 car, which is in the garage. It's running just behind. It's just one off the bottom of the field that are still circulating out there. And look at this. This is a man in charge of his team, Mark Cole. He's on bended knee here, sharing the ears of, occupying the ears of all and sundry, all departments. There really is a family down there. That's the kickback that you get at Audi, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Wolfgang Ulrich is, as you literally hands-on, as you saw. He's there with his crew, discussing splitters, what they need to do. Obviously, things are going to change, Liz, as the day goes on. The heat comes back into the day, and aerodynamics will subtly change, won't they? So we might at some stage see Audi changing a nose with a slightly different configuration of splitters, etc. There's a lot of mechanics in this, isn't it? Engineering and aerodynamic mechanics.
I have to be honest, I don't think Audi will change anything unless they need to. I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it, to be honest. And I think if the cars are running well and there isn't a problem, I doubt we'd see them make something as drastic as a nose change. However, we did see Audi do some incredible changes of both the rear and the nose earlier on, which took them around about 5 minutes. So you never know, maybe that will be their plan.
Goodness me, everybody just occupying themselves, getting their own focus and running their own race, but not realising quite perhaps the pace of a very, very desperate car coming through, desperate to hold on and continue making inroads. Dinder Capella in the 7 car is running in 4th place. Anthony Davidson in the Peugeot number 1 car. We're on board with him now, and he looks pacey. He's picked up where Jenny left off here. This is that moment for the 7 car as it comes through. That's the young driver, Aston Martin, on the inside. Yeah, that's on the outside of that point. Yeah,
Christopher Nygaard on board that car. That car actually is in 3rd place in GT1 at the moment. The Julien Jousse Corvette is ahead of him, and ahead of that, the Celine we talked about earlier, Julien Canal, now on board the Labra Celine.
Well, Dr. Wolfgang Ulrich is still going and talking to the air jack man. He's talking to everyone. He really is what they call a fighting general. Not one who sits at the back, but gets involved. He's on the front line as we look down from our Eagle's Nest position here, on opposite the start-finish straight and all of the pit boxes. It's a phenomenal view, and we'll do our best to keep you informed of everything that's going on as we take this short break.
Right, we've got a message from the Philippines. Eurosport, of course, gets everywhere, and we broadcast out there as well. Irvin, who's from Pasay City, says, hi everyone, just to let you know I'm around. Asking Liz, will you compete at Le Mans in 2011?
I think my answer to that is I absolutely hope so. I will be doing everything I can to put all the pieces in place to be back at Le Mans 2011. Much as I love you all and I do enjoy being here in the commentary box, I have to admit it does make me desperate to get back in the car, and I would love to be here at the greatest motor race in the world.
Such a tease. Yes, I remember you coming and joining us and then leaving us bereft as you took a ride a couple of years ago. It'd be great to see you in there, though. I think we bigged you up big time, actually. We tracked you throughout. Oh, there we are, Dino Capello in the 7 car. Meanwhile, look at this. Just behind him is on track is Anthony Davidson. Yeah, absolutely. Terrific little skirmish going on right now. The 7 car is a lap behind Davidson and is about to go one further by, I should imagine. Well, it will happen if they swap places here. And the way that Davidson is pedaling at the moment, that car has got such pace. It seems quality lineup naturally, but whoever gets in really can make the most of it.
And remember, Davidson has huge confidence. He won Sebring this year for Peugeot, first time out in the car, and that just gives him so much of a boost and confidence. If he can win Sebring, then you know you've got the capability of winning Le Mans as well.
Well, so many people say that doing the 12 hours of Sebring is essentially like doing a 24-hour race, especially somewhere like Le Mans, because Sebring is basically an old airfield track. It's really old. They don't repair the concrete. It absolutely beats the driver and the car to pieces. So that's, I think, the feeling is if you can win at Sebring, then you can basically take on anything.
Anthony Davidson in for David Brabham in this vehicle, who's got occupations elsewhere.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, he moved across to Highcroft, the team for which he drives in the ALMS, and never quite sure if Peugeot pushed him or he decided to go off by himself. But here we are. This is the moment the pass came. Just pulls out of the slipstream.
You can just see the speed of that Peugeot. It's just no worries, wasn't it?
You can see just how close he had to get, and look at that. They know that this isn't over by a long chalk, and a very, very serious face. It's almost like the pressure suddenly just shifted from Peugeot. Pressure's off just a little bit because of their ill fortune, and so Peugeot are playing the happy game, if that's appropriate to say. They're playing catch-up at the moment. Certainly, they are the hounds, and Audis are the hares, just for now.
But, sorry, go ahead.
So Johnson said, just watching these pictures of the Peugeot going past the Audi, he said, how much of an advantage is it to have a closed coupe over an open car?
Oh, the Celine just closes the door there. Sorry, Mark just switches over and he just squirrels through on the inside. Thankfully, in the hands of Dino Capello, a very, very smooth driver. Now, just watch the way he takes some of these curves here. I know a lot of the rumbles are being wiped out by the Steadicam, but believe me, he is absolutely millimetre perfect, it seems, and not a jerky driver at all here. Brilliant work. And there you see it. The march goes on for Anthony Davidson in the one car for now. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No.
That's all right. I think going back to what Mark said, I do think there is an advantage to the coupe, certainly on an aero standpoint. Obviously, a driver's head stuck out is going to be more of a wall for air, if you will. And certainly you can see the way the Peugeot has been designed. It truly is designed almost to scoop the air off the front of it. So I do think there's an advantage there, but I think they've managed to find that little bit more power somewhere else as well, and that might just be in the design of the car.
Well, Mark Cole, are you a betting person? Do you think Peugeot can do this?
Well, I lost
do you think they will?
I lost on the Grand National with a 1-2-3 this year, so I mean, you're asking the wrong person here. I lost £1.
Liz?
Well, I think we're a long way to the finish, that's for sure. I think there's room there. Well, there isn't room for Audi to make any errors. Peugeot isn't that far away at all, and they are going very, very quickly. So I think it's possible, but I think they'll have to work very hard, and Audi will have to make mistakes.
Alan McNish, looking at the monitors, knows we're on him as well, gives a little shake of the head, go away. We want to get back on board, and he wants to get back on board with this car. In terms of pictures here, Thibaut Bernard in the 9 machine, and there it is. You're seeing what we have available to us up here as well. And it looks quicker. 325.5 is what they've just said. Davidson has just done a 322.8. He's in 3rd place at the moment. And crucially, he is only 1 lap down on the Fassler Audi, the number 8 car, and 2 off the leader. 2 laps could disappear in a hair's breadth almost by comparison.
Well, I think what you'll see them doing down there, where Alec McNish is standing by the screens and having what looks to be a very serious chat with everybody, is they're actually looking at the speed at which that Peugeot is doing right now and what sort of times they need to do to make sure they keep them at bay, because at the moment Timo Bernhard's done a 325, Fassler did a 327, and Anthony Davidson did a 322. So certainly they cannot carry on with that sort of range of times.
007 on the hijacks here, and they're having a look at the back end.
Yeah, so we're being told it's gearbox problems.
Yeah, it does look like that. Timo Bernhard, don't forget. Romain Dumas and Mike Rockefeller, first timers in the factory Audi. They do a lot of work in the Porsche. They're kind of on loan at the moment. Did some great work with the RS Spider, which isn't here, Mark.
Yes, indeed. And just looking at that refueling, we've got a problem also in GT2. We've just seen that the Raymond Narak car, the 76 Matmut IMSA performance car, is in the garage. They've got problems. That means that at the moment on the podium is Tony Viander in the Ferrari, taking Jean Alesi and Giancarlo Fisichella with him. And of course they had that podium finish first time out at Paul Ricard. Are they heading for another one here?
There's nobody who is happier at success than John Alesi, is there? He goes like a a skippy Cub Scout when it goes his way. The emotions start to fly. I remember him actually throwing a helmet full of all the communications gear into the crowd to say thanks for your support, getting roundly told off for chucking away a very expensive piece of kit. So if you're in the locale and Alesi does well, you never know what might come your way.
Yes, of course. Yes, as you say, it wasn't just this chrome helmet, was it?
No,
it was all the gear that went with it. Mercedes were absolutely furious about that.
Was that the DTM? I think it was.
Bang on 8 o'clock, 7 hours to go. The race started at 3 o'clock this year in France. It finishes at 3 o'clock this afternoon for obvious reasons, because 24 hours will be up. But 7 hours remaining, and we're still an hour short of a wet 1,000-kilometre race.
24 cars just come in with its rather distinctive livery of marker pen pink, and look at this, that is just the end of a manoeuvre here, I think, which we can quite simply describe as a pirouette for the 75 car, and looks to have got away with it amazingly.
Yeah, well, I don't think he will have gotten away with that completely. He's certainly gotten away with it stopping the car up. But
check this up. Now there he goes. Now barriers. Oh yes,
hit
just a little nudge and the back.
And don't forget what we talked about earlier. Front-end damage in a Porsche can mean radiator problems, which could be a major issue here, especially at this stage in the race. So he's going to need to be careful, bring that back in one piece.
Very, very robust though, Mark. It almost looked like a parking nudge by the time it spun out there. But you're quite right, Liz. All the radiators are up front in that vehicle and on the side as well, so it can get damaged.
And that was Dutch rookie Nick Hommerson in the Belgian Pro Speed car. He's showing that car with Paul van Splunteren, Louis Machiels. Of course, these guys run in the FIA GT2 Championship. It's their debut here at Le Mans.
Striker Racing leading LMP2, you just saw that there, and our lead car in the 16th place as far as GT2 is concerned is Corvette Racing. 3 GT2 cars leading that class. Mark Lieb in the 77 is in second place, with Villander in the 95 car in third. That's before you get to the first of the GT1s. That's being led by the Saleen at the moment, running in 21st place on course, and the J-Lock machine is still here, but 142 laps down, and I think as soon as you get to 9 o'clock, which is just in 58 minutes, or 57 and a bit minutes time, I think the marker pen of doom might well come on them, because I think they're too far in terms of percentages away from the lead car.
They are stopped up in the garage and have been there for quite a long time, so I'm pretty confident that's going to be game over for them, sadly. Talking
of marker of doom, I'm afraid you're going to have to cross the 63 Corvette off the list now, confirmed as retirement with a failed engine crank sensor.
Oh dear, that's not like Corvette at all, so I'm very sorry to hear that from them. And Antonio Garcia, of course, a fabulous driver himself, driven with Aston Martin, and also I think 1 year last year with Corvette, was my co-driver in 2007 as well, and just a really fabulously nice guy, an exceptionally talented driver.
So a crank sensor takes the 63 machine out. There's spin retirements for all kinds of reasons, just for now. The 9 car seems to have avoided the worst of it all. Look at this. Immaculate, by the way. No cleaner place to be. Even the outfits are absolutely pristine. It is quite an operation for Audi. This is a huge focus for them, has been for many, many years. And the support that they've given endurance racing has benefited everyone, Mark, the entire sport.
Yes, very much so, very much so. And it's become synonymous with Le Mans, hasn't it?
Yes.
Now? I mean, they've owned this race virtually the whole of the last decade. 2003, remember, might have been Bentley, but it was still an Audi underneath all that. And it wasn't until last year, 2009, that Peugeot eventually managed to put its stamp back on the race that it won in 92 and 93.
They've changed the mood as well in a lot of places in the United States. The Audi, and I think to a certain extent in Germany as well, as the car comes in, were very much regarded as a kind of a middle-aged brand. They've turned that round completely with some fantastic cars that really appeal to the younger end of the market, and there's a lot of emotion attached to Audis these days. They've even changed our views of diesels over the years.
Yes, I think that's probably the biggest thing. You know, I always said I'll never in my life drive a diesel car. I do. I drive a diesel car now because
it's an Audi.
I wouldn't say that. But I mean, 5 years ago, I'd said I'd never ever have a diesel car. Well, I swear by them now.
Yes, absolutely, and it's been quite a few steps that they've taken both on and off the track as a result. It really is a full-on proper luxury sports brand, if I can possibly call it that. So yeah, their aim was to get back at BMW in that regard, and yeah, it's great to see them fight against each other. Great to see BMW, incidentally, here as well. Driver change in for the lead car. Who at this time yesterday would have said Audi would be leading the race here after some 17 hours of action, but here it is. They have the lead, and they've got a strong lead. It's a whole lap over the sister car, which Marcel Fassler is now on board the 8 car, and they have a 2-lap lead over the best of the Peugeots, Anthony Davidson, in the number 1 car. Well, we will take ourselves a brief commercial break in just a few moments' time as the 9 car prepares to get out and do battle here. Romain Dumas and his distinctive helmet. It also helps having the words Romain and Dumas written on the side of it.
I was really impressed there for a moment.
I was going to say, I didn't know it was distinctive, but neither did you, it turns out.
Out it comes. We'll take ourselves a break, and we'll be back in a few moments live here. Into traffic, the 8 car running in second place at the moment. Marcel Fassler comes under the Dunlop Bridge and heads down towards the curves here, through traffic, picking his way through beautifully. We've just been looking at some of the times out here, and the Peugeot 1 car is still on a mission. A 3:21.386. That is so fast, Liz.
It is incredible, especially, you know, this far into the race when everybody's feeling a bit tired, and it just goes to show how professional they are and how fit the drivers are as well. You know, you must be mentally fit and physically fit to be able to be that on the ball this far into the race.
Don't forget our website, by the way. Mark Cole's just trawling through. It's eurosport.co.uk. Click on the message board, scroll down to Motorsports, click on Le Mans, and the topic area or the thread is new ! Eurosport 2010 Le Mans Live.
And what a reach we've got. This is Luke, Paul and Steve from Australia. Thanks to Eurosport. We're dedicated Le Mans nuts. We've been watching you the whole race. It's been fantastic. I've had no trouble staying awake for a marathon, 28 hours so far. Still a long way to go. I really feel for the drivers of the number 2 car. Will you be having an interview with anyone from Peugeot regarding the problem?
Sure we will, and good day or good night, mate, I suppose we should be saying. What are you on out there? Probably around about 7:10 in the evening, something like that, if I had to guess.
Well, I think what might give a clue to Peugeot's mindset is that an hour after the incident, we haven't heard from them yet. Mind you, to be fair, our pit reporters are only just coming back on duty at the moment, so we will get Justine to shoot off there and see if she can find something.
I've just seen the very sad sight way off in the distance of the number 2 car going away on a flatbed lorry, being towed off possibly to the Le Mans graveyard, which I can also see off to my left of all the retired vehicles. So a very sad sight to see.
Motorsport aerobics going on here, and it's some yes, there's going to be a lot of scraped knuckles out there, and it's about now when you start thinking, why on earth did we not design this to be easier to reach? Yes, the Le Mans graveyard at the end of the pit lane. I don't know whether we ever get a picture of that for you, but there's cars under covers there. Some fabulous looking vehicles at the start of the event, looking very much worse for wear.
Sad,
it is, because these are trusty steeds when they start off, and sometimes, well, maybe that trust is misplaced.
Yes, you wouldn't come here if you didn't have hope and expectations. You come here to win, no other reason, not just to be an also-ran in the field. Audi, though, well, a lot of concern, isn't there, at the moment? There is this constant worry, niggling worry. You see the opposition braking, you're then worrying about your car doing it. Number 97, we're being told, has just been given a warning for going off track limits. Liz, could you expand on what that means here at Le Mans?
Oh, it probably means that they've jumped a few chicanes a bit too far over the line. Usually when you have the drivers' meeting at Le Mans, they sort of make it very clear to you which lines they do not want you to cross. And this particular car, I know, is pushing hard to try and get a few places back, because they were running in second or third for a while, and they've dropped back. So I think the car has been told to push hard, and he's probably just gotten a little carried away.
That is Richard Westbrook. Yeah.
Yes.
Alan McNish about to rejoin proceedings. They need some pace out there. I'm not suggesting his teammates haven't got it, but we know when it comes to a toe-to-toer, he's an absolute monster despite his stature. A 3:19.5 has just been posted by Anthony Davidson. They know, and this is going to be a sprinter. Can you believe it at this time of the day? Or yes, we are back in the day. Absolutely. They haven't stopped, and we have another 6 hours and 48 minutes of sheer thrill and entertainment. Hairs on the back of our necks going up now, because we know that the prize fighter has just been woken, and he is about to get out there and just take the battle.
I do believe that is the quickest lap time of the race so far.
Yeah,
I think it is, unless something's happened at 3 in the morning we didn't know about.
We're talking about the #1 Peugeot, by the way, of Davidson, and that's what McNish has got to fight against out there.
There was Montagna did a 3:19.8. You're quite right, and this is a 3:19.5. So young Ant doing a great job out there for Peugeot, but is he going to be able to pull back one lap even at that speed?
And what I think is that who's just gotten into that car there?
Alan McNish.
That's what I thought it was, but then I thought he was in before. Because I was about to say, what better person to take on the task?
No, Dindo's just got out, and Nishi goes out.
McNish then heads back out, and yes, this is that sad side off the back of the low loader. It actually doesn't look too bad, but yes, all the damage is in the internals. You saw the big fire earlier on, engine let go, and yes, Jeremy Shaw, incidentally, is down just trying to find out what's happened to the 11 car, and it looks like it may well be all done. They've got, I don't think they've got a chance of getting back within the percentages off the lead car's pace within the next, 48 minutes or so. And so I think the shutters will be coming down on the 11 car, which is a real shame, because they've ridden against battled against adversity throughout at Drayson Racing, and the Loader Judd Coupe, unfortunately, I don't think is going to come back. It's not declared out just yet, by the way, but the 2 Peugeot is heading back and into its own garage. It's not going to go to the car graveyard. They're going to give it some respect and have a look at it here, but it is all over. The black line is already through it. It is officially retired. It's just a question of keeping it safe and not having a crowd of, well, even interested journos around it. Thank you and good night.
And there is the telltale sign of a finished Le Mans. 24 hours for another car. The shutters are down. Persian number 2 is finished.
So Alan McNish is on track. He's in the 7 car. Unfortunately for him, a very, very quick 10 seconds difference between the two of them. I know it was an outlap for Alan McNish, but Anthony Davidson has just done a 3:19.527. He's in the 3rd sector as well right now. We're on board with the 1 car. Now they're in a provisional podium position right now. The track has thinned out just a little bit in terms of the course, in terms of cars on course, I should say. 37 vehicles in total at the moment are left and racing. They give the Hankook a big flash as he comes through. You better not hold me up, because I mean business. He's got an Audi in front of him. Not sure who it is on course at the moment. It's the 8 car of Faster, I think, with a couple of lights up, but we have to double confirm these things. We've got 2 lights on the side, running 2nd in class, and this yet again is going to be another one ticked off on what is a long list here. Davidson at the moment is a lap behind. This is terrific racing.
Look how much quicker he is as he comes along. You can just see him reining in the Audi, and it's almost as if the Audi's got nothing he can do. And I mean, Marcel Fassler is no slow driver himself, so this is just incredible. Let's watch him on the Mulsanne straight here. It just shows the power that Peugeot's maybe just got a little bit more than Audi.
Yeah, and it is a big flat car, the Audi, at the front, and it punches a big hole in the air. The Peugeot, it looks like it would possibly be less disturbed by any turbulence at the back as well, because of its smooth aquiline shape, and it certainly has a great approach speed on the start on these long straights, I should say, as exactly what you're saying, Liz. And look at him now, he's getting into that slipstream. He's going to be hampered here. This is his moment. Oh, he's all over, and he's off towards one side of the track. I hope he hasn't picked up anything nasty there. He had to take his opportunity. Well, that was gutsy, but we'll see if there's any consequences for him. There's an awful lot of rubbish at the side of the track, and Liz Halliday is almost in a ball Hall here just did not want to watch that. He's okay.
He's just a mid, and
that wasn't just gutsy, that was risky.
Not only that, but he's immediately been given a track limits warning. So if he does that again, he could find himself with a drive-through or stop.
Yes,
go.
It has a very, very big red patch. Now, I don't suppose he has a deserved advantage here because he clearly got a quicker car at the time. But look at this. This was a dangerous manoeuvre. Now, those red marks are there for a reason. It's not just because royalty popped by here occasionally. Look at this. That was, oh dearie me, he was struggling to regain control there, and finally got the grip he needed and was able to get the brakes on when he needed as well. But that was a gutsy move, all or nothing it seems, and he could have ended up with nothing, Liz.
Let's just see what the faces of the Peugeot garage are saying right now. Oh no, this is not good. We've got a slow moving car on track.
Yes, and it's our Corvette, and
it's a 73 car.
And that is a real shame. Don't like to see that at all. They're second in
Julian
class.
Juice, Julian Juice.
Second in class. It's the Saleen that leads this one. And I'm just looking at the laps, and they were making inroads there. They were 2 laps down. 2 laps down. Do you know where they are on course at the moment?
Yes, that's...
Can't really tell where they are, actually.
Well, there we are.
There's the camera
of it. And we just, as we pull back a little bit...
It's coming into Indianapolis, isn't it?
It might be.
Possibly. Those are brave marshals running across this track there. I think it does look like Indianapolis. That looks like the right hand before.
Yeah, he's just got a little bit of a solid tarmac here off the racetrack, and that's good news to a certain extent, but we're really picking up crumbs here on what has been a difficult time for the Corvettes in that GT1 class. Saleen are the leaders, and Julian Canal is on board. Look at this though. Davidson is doing an amazing job. He's going through traffic here as he approaches another one of the Corvettes, the 72 car, which has its problems earlier in the evening. And only in this race we're back into another day entirely. Of course, it's what the 24 hours constantly shocks you. It doesn't matter how many times you come here, you suddenly realize just how massive the task is. I think you don't actually fully appreciate it every single time you come until you get into the commentary position and you think there's 15 hours to go, and we've already had such an enormous amount of action so far, and likewise now we still have 6 hours and 40 odd minutes remaining here. And so there is time for Peugeot to take the victory here, and they are busy bees on track at the moment. They only trail the leader by 1 lap, and he's just done a 3:20.06, 6.1 seconds quicker than Romain Dumas in the number 9 Audi. They're on a mission. Is it mission impossible? You'll only find out if you stay right here live on Eurosport, eurosport.co.uk. Click on the message board, scroll down to Motorsports. If you click Le Mans, and then the topic area where you find the thread, which is new ! Eurosport 2010 Le Mans Live. We are live, and we will be having a chat with you and your thoughts as to whether Peugeot can or can't do it, and any other questions that you might like to pose to either Mark Cole or Liz Halliday. And if you're very brave to me, we'll be back in a few moments. Number 9's got a warning, track limits as well. They are starting to get a bit twitchy Audi up front. Romain Dumas is also starting to short track here, and the chase is on. Anthony Davidson in the 1 car. Marcel Faster is in front of him in the 8 car, and our lead car is the Audi of Romain Dumas. It's Audi 1 and 2 with Peugeot 3 and 5. Don't count out Lapierre in the 4 car, but they've got a couple of issues going down out there. But really our focus is on the number 1 here. Can it be worthy of the number? Well, it certainly is at the moment, because the laps that they're posting are just not being bettered by anyone on track at the moment. Peugeot are on an absolute flyer, and Lapierre's just done a 3:23. Audi has just come in. This is Marcel Faster in the 8 car, Mark.
Yeah, this is the car we just saw being monstered by Ant Davidson down the Mulsanne straight, where Ant went over onto the red strip, got a track warning limit. Now we've got another warning for Romain Dumas. He's been given a track limit warning as well.
Anthony Davidson has just gone, as Liz points out, through the opening sector here in a car record time of 31.5 seconds.
Not just a car record, a race record time.
A race record time, exactly. I mean, all cars, phenomenal. So, hold on to your hats, because Anthony Davidson is on a charge. He knows as well that Fast has just come in, and so that's the reason why he's got extra spur here.
Absolutely. I think the team orders are going to be, come on mate, go as quick as you can and pass him, and they will be telling him on the radio as well that he's just had a pit, and also they'll be telling him that what times they've been doing in front of him, which is definitely the way all of these teams would work. They'd say, look, here's your gap from this, you know, from you to this car, here's the times they're doing, here's how fast you can reel him in if you do this time.
Well, as cars do pit, the track becomes more open. He looks like he's almost on his own here. It almost looks like a testing day, and he's going very, very quickly. As you quite rightly pointed out, the race fastest opening sector, we're just waiting for sector 2. It may well be held up just a little bit. That's a nice turn in here, and he's been given a lot of space by the Ferrari to do his thing, and he's doing it right now.
He is, and although he's going very quickly and just charging through the traffic, for the most part he's actually really thinking about where he passes and passing in safe distances. You must think about that thing when you're racing with GT cars as well, that they're still pushing hard in their race as well, so you can't just pass them on the outside and everything when they're committed. So these top drivers really do think about that, and you can see them never losing pace but judging their way through the traffic, which is so impressive to see.
Mark, it's one heck of a scrap got going on here. I'm just tracking Anthony Davidson. He's very, very quick at the moment. His last lap was a 3:23.095, but he's absolutely on fire. He's really got the bit between his teeth here, and I think you should have put your little betting counter perhaps on the Peugeot here. He's on a mission, and it's looking possible.
Yeah, well, they've got nothing to lose, have they? I mean, they're the best. If they stay where they are, they're going to finish third. So why?
Oh dear! Contact, and he might get called for that. He might get called for that.
He should get called for that. He absolutely should.
Whoa, that's a big one.
Well,
and round they come here, and there's bits of that Corvette all over the shop here, and I think that was his fault. He was on an absolute charge.
It was absolutely his fault.
There we are. You've got it from Liz as well.
Right after I've just bigged them up. It is, for all the viewers to know, it is the overtaking car's responsibility to pass the slower cars safely, and that was not going to happen.
And not only that, if you are in a quicker class, you have to respect those who are on course, and he has just, looks like, potentially ended the race for one of the Corvettes here. And watch this. Nightmare scenario. Peugeot on an absolute charge, and sadly for that vehicle, the 64 Corvette, which was leading class, it's Emmanuel Collard. Couldn't see it up front, didn't want to say count all your chickens just in case it was one of the others further down the order, but my goodness, that is such a shame, and Corvette can't believe it. They'll be calling for heads to roll here, you can be sure, and that car doesn't look like it's going anywhere quick.
Now, the only thing I can say is that in that very particular part of the circuit, it's very, very difficult to be overtaken as well, because you are so committed in that portion, and it's very hard to check your mirrors while you're there. And I've been in that situation before where actually I've been passed by an Audi, things like that, and thought, my God, I didn't even know they were there, because you're so focused on your own portion of the circuit. But I do believe that the Peugeot should have been more patient there. They know that the cars are committed. They know that they have to make that line to make it back out again. So he knew that Corvette needed to turn in there.
Now then, a big call then for the race commissaires here, Mark. Your opinion?
Well, last year our friend and colleague Stuart Hall was excluded from the race when a similar accident happened involving the Brooke Laggy car and his Aston Martin. We've just seen the same thing again. Anthony Davidson is a Peugeot driver. Whether he's driving a French car will make any difference, but one would hope if they do it to others, they're going to continue.
Yes, as if by magic, Stuart Hall comes in and gives a big thumbs up, and they're like, yes, quite right. There we are. He's actually managed to get it going here. It took a brief hiatus, but he's back and coming in. Yes, you're looking at the 64 car, and unfortunately it's been heavily remodified after being clipped by Anthony Davidson as he was going by here, and unfortunately We believe, well, we will just have to wait and see, that it was the fault of the #1 car here, and that's a real shame. Corvette, they're just getting on with it, and thankfully it's not that far away from the entry here, and in he comes, Mark.
Yeah, but Manu is not exactly hanging back, is he? He's just pushing as hard as he can to get into the pit lane.
He will not be happy at all. And I have to say, you know, having seen that accident the second time, the only thing I can say is that it would be a toss-up at that speed for the Peugeot. He's probably thought, he must have seen me, he's a professional driver, but I still think it's the Peugeot's, you know, it's their job to look after them, and they know that you can't be looking in your mirrors coming through that portion of the circuit.
Well, it's
too fast.
That's in mitigation, and we will see. It's not for us to decide at all. So they fuel it up, which is a brave thing to do when the back end is so nasty. Look at this. They're ready to work, and they're in the garage right now. Just checking out, they have Mark Lieb, incidentally, is in second place and is likely to be promoted here. He's only a lap down, and suddenly this game may well come to Porsche. It's phenomenal. But Porsche, that looked like they were the poor cousins of not only the Corvettes but the Ferraris in this race, all of a sudden they could well find themselves in the lead. Just bats into the board man here, and the #1 car lights out. The cleanup operation begins, and believe me, the race stewards are going to be looking at that incident and trying to make a decision. If they do decide to impose some sort of sanction on Anthony Davidson and the Peugeot #1 car here, it's going to be a bit of a race killer, unfortunately.
It'll be interesting to see if anybody from Corvette goes to have a little bit of a chat with Peugeot. I'm guessing not, because they will hold their own face and be working on their own car, and they're so diplomatic, those Corvette boys. But it's so sad to see, because they're both professional drivers, both running at the front of, you know, at the top end of their class, but absolutely shouldn't be happening, I think.
Yeah, but now they're working on Davidson's car here. There's damage to be patched up, isn't there? But that was the other side that
this was the loose panel that we saw a little bit earlier on. They've decided to get that sorted out as well. I think they're being good boys, basically. Look how tidy we're making our car. It's clearly been mentioned as something that they have to fix at some point. That's how they thought they'd fix it right now, while they're trying to at least massage perhaps any decision that might be made against them. Now then, a lot of talking going on here, a lot of big handshaking going on as well. And the reason is, it's the 77 crew have suddenly woken up down there, and the Felbermeyer outfit may well find themselves in a fantastic position. Ferrari as well, with Torvilander in the 95 car. That's where we were, I think, with Giancarlo Fisichella, the Ferrari 430. They're going to be promoted into second place if this goes on for a long time. And it's inevitable, Liz, when you look at the amount of damage that they've got there. This is big boys' work to try and pull this off.
I think if anybody can do it, it's going to be the boys of Pratt & Miller. I think they're going to do the best thing they can possibly do to put this car back on the track. But what we're seeing now suddenly is we're going back to our Porsche-Ferrari battle that we had last year. It's going to be Porsche, Ferrari, Ferrari, Porsche. So, gosh, I didn't think this would happen this way. I have to be honest, I really thought the Corvette was going to be there at the front to the end, and I think they probably would have been if this hadn't happened.
Yeah, but interesting, this will also bring the farm-backer Porsche up into third, won't it? The 89 car. So that's looking very good. So 3 factory cars, in fact, all stacking up now to take place from here.
It's actually the farm-backer Ferrari.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the Ferrari, yeah.
Yeah.
Dominic Farnbacher, Alan Simonson, and Lee Keane, American colleague of yours, Liz.
Safety car is out as Liz just hands over the mic to Stuart Hall, who's I'm sure got an opinion on what happened out there. The safety car has been deployed.
This will be for the rubbish on the track, down at the Porsche curb.
A lot of mud, which is precisely what you do not want. You can cope with a bit of gravel perhaps on occasion, because it does generally get pinged off the track. But when it's mud, and especially when it's kind of dampish because of the weather that we've had of late, it's going to stick there, and that can be a real issue, especially on that part of the course, which was very fast, Mark, where the incident happened.
Yeah, absolutely. And Manu Collard, as we've said, absolutely totally committed professional driver. He's been a winner here many times at Le Mans. But here he is, put out of the race for the time being.
We'll take ourselves a short commercial break. We'll get your opinions on the website as well in just a few moments' time. And we'll be talking to Stuart Hall, who knows what it's like to sit in front of the commissaires in just a moment. It's yet another safety car, and this is the reason. The #1 Peugeot fighting to get back amongst the leaders, just, we think, responsible for that incident. And just as our timing screens blank out, and a lot of debris out there, and a lot of mud dragged onto the course, which has got us a clean-up operation. Now, the safety car being deployed will perhaps play into the hands of these boys, because the whole field is actually slowed. And so the 64 car is, in fact, still listed as in the lead, although Mark Lieb is going to be circulating here, and that looks like we might have barrier repairs to be done here as well. Very much dislodged concrete stanchion, which just sits behind that, is also out of place. So it may well be a long one, this, which gives us the opportunity for two things. We've got Stuart Hall, who is knows all about sitting in front of commissioners, who has joined us, and we've got Mark Cole, who's got his finger in the air.
Yeah, well, let's we've got Stuart here. Cadpig has just posted this. Is it likely the ACO will exclude Anthony Davidson, as it's a French car he is in? We were all very upset about Stuart's exclusion last year in the Aston Martin.
And here is Stuart. Yes, it's a difficult one to face, Stuart, whenever you're a driver that's doing your job, essentially, to go as quickly as possible. But let's talk about this incident first.
Yes, it's very, very easy to speculate, but those sort of incidents happen all the time in sports cars. That's part and parcel of what it is. You know, you've got quicker cars passing slower cars, and inevitably, occasionally, you do get contact. From the angle we saw, and it's very easy to speculate because, you know, incidents are seen from many angles, and they do look different from many angles, certainly in my case last year. But it does look to me that Ant was actually fairly alongside Manu, and they just came together. You know, the Porsche curves is very, very, very narrow. It's difficult to pass, you know, a car through a slower corner there, but that was one of the very quick left-handers, and I think they both came through it, and the inevitable result was a little bit of contact, and it only needs the slightest of touches, and as we saw, Manu's had quite a big accident and probably ruined their race at the moment. But you know, it's easy to place blame, but that is a very, very difficult part of the circuit, as Liz will confirm, and it's very easy to do, and you can't really put fault at that. You know, both cars were fairly alongside each other. They seem to have touched, and the resulting contact is Manu's come off worse, and I think Ant's got away with it.
I think the difficulty there is actually, now that I've seen it a couple times, it's difficult in that exact portion where he passed him. It's the point where Manu would have had to have turned in, and it's probably stopped looking in his mirrors, and that's the trouble. Is the Peugeots are so fast and they come up so quick that he would have checked before he'd entered the Porsche curves, and then probably not had a chance to check his mirrors again. And I think I do still feel the passing car should have been looking after that side of it, and he should know that he needed to turn in at that point. But
now listen, Stuart, Andy Mack on the forum puts a different spin on it. He said it looked to me as if the Corvette went to turn in, realised Ant was there, then went to twitch back to the right and lost control on his own volition. I think a penalty would be too harsh.
Liz is shaking her head, but
he definitely got hit.
I mean, no, he did get hit. He did get hit. Liz is shaking her head. He certainly did get hit, and I think that's from the angle we view, that is a very fair assumption. You did see the Corvette turn in, but what you didn't see is what angle the Peugeot was at as well. So you know, like we say, it's very, very easy to speculate. I think a penalty would be very harsh. Crikey,
I don't think it deserves a penalty.
I thought it was quite harsh last year.
No, I definitely don't think it deserves a penalty.
It was a little bit more blatant than that, but
I think that's pretty generous of you there, Stuart.
No, you know, there's no point speaking too much in depth about last year. It's in the past, it's happened. You know, we're here in 2010, and we've just had an accident. We need to comment on it, and I think it is a racing incident. Those sort of things happen in sports cars all the time. You probably had that sort of situation happen 40 times during this race. It's just the car it's happened to hasn't had a big shunt. It's just they've just rubbed bodywork. It just happens that it's been at the Porsche curves. There's been no margin for error, and there's been an accident.
Once again, Hugh de Schonak's car, the Oreca car, held up in the pit lane entrance, and at Carlton again this problem about the three safety cars, cars being held up for nearly half a lap if they'd been in the pits. Everyone came in, of course.
Yes, it's caused all kinds of consternation, particularly amongst the Audi crew earlier on today, as we just watched the 77 car just rattling it through. This is our leader, incidentally. 77 car was in GT2. A GT1 leader is the Saleen, which you've just seen. And is that the J-Lux back out? I don't know these earlier pictures. I can't actually see it on course at the moment. I think they are possibly done and dusted. Who will join that long list of black lines drawn through numbers which we have in front of us here? It seems to be a list that's continually expanding. I hope for Corvette's sake that the 64 car is going to be okay. It's now, incidentally, just been passed by Mark Lieb. He's a lap down that vehicle, but they're working very, very quickly, and we've got a fantastic view here from our quarantine position straight down as we go green. That was a very, very quick clean-up operation. And Romain Dumas, now we need to, almost straight away on the restart, the 39 car takes itself a little spin, and the Lola Judd, is it Deportalis is on board?
It's the guy who put it in the wall at Arnage earlier. He's still on board the car, and there he is, just loses it.
Maybe with a bit of help. Yeah,
punted, yeah, by the young driver Aston.
Well, there you are. I think possibly still maybe running slower than he possibly thought he should have been, the car behind, and causing a little bit of a mobile chicane, but he is in the gravel, and we'll see whether he manages to extricate himself and get back for a bit of a clean-up operation. So we're just looking to see where the cars sit on track and waiting for them to roar by us here. They've lifted the red flag, and we are going again. It may well have been that there was only one safety car, incidentally, because the field was so dispersed. They may well have been able to pick him up. Not quite sure whether they disposed. Do you think three, Mark?
On a 13-kilometre track, you cannot just have one safety car. You'd have to go around for 5 or 6 laps to wait for everyone to catch up.
Yeah, it's very much so.
No, I think it's just possible, Carl. They could have reduced it to 2 by now with the less field. We actually at this moment have just 32 cars running.
This going on right now. We've got the with the 7 car here, and he's tracking behind the Peugeot, Mark. And guess who's in the 7 car? Alan McNish. Now, we said if you needed a prize fighter, there's one man that should be sent out there to do the job, and it is Nishi. We'll get a full proper lap times at full chat for you in just a moment's time, but on his case at the moment.